Ukrainian forces have used the US-supplied HIMARS rocket system to destroy 50 Russian artillery systems since these weapons were delivered last month, Defense Minister Oleksii Reznikov said. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that HIMARS missiles changed the course of the war against Russia. The US-made systems have been used to strike dozens of Russian targets such as command posts and ammunition depots. It has also been used to target bridges, including those approaching Russian-occupied Kherson, which Ukraine is trying to retake. The missiles supplied to Ukraine have a range of up to 50 miles, 80 kilometers, which is over twice the range of the howitzer guns which the US has previously given to Ukraine. HIMARS can also fire a single Army tactical missile system missile, which has a range of 186 miles, 300 kilometers. However, the US isn't supplying Ukraine with these. The 50-mile range is roughly similar to that of Russian Smerch missiles, but HIMARS fires GPS-guided missiles which can be more accurately targeted. HIMARS began being used in Ukraine at the end of June or the start of July, according to Phillips O'Brien, professor of strategic studies at St. Andrews University. He says the system was first deployed against fixed targets and command centers rather than forces on the move. It was used up and down the front in eastern Ukraine, striking at ammunition depots some 30 miles behind the Russian lines. However, he says, Ukraine may now be starting to use HIMARS against concentrations of Russian troops in barracks and command posts. Ukraine claims a missile attack in Lysychansk, Luhansk killed up to 100 troops, and that a strike on the headquarters of the Wagner mercenary group in Popasna in Luhansk may have killed 100 of its members. Both strikes are likely to have involved HIMARS, according to Professor O'Brien. The U.S. is said to have supplied Ukraine with 16 HIMARS systems as part of security assistance package. The U.K. has also provided a missile launch system called the M270, which is similar to HIMARS and fires the same missiles. 3 of these have been delivered and 3 more are on their way. In mid-July, Ukrainian forces started using HIMARS to cut off Russia's access to the city of Kherson in southern Ukraine, which it currently occupies. Russian forces conducted air, missile, and drone strikes against targets in Ukraine at a markedly slower tempo than in previous days. The Ukrainian General Staff reported on October 24 that Russian forces conducted 2 missile and 28 airstrikes, and Ukrainian forces shot down 16 Shahed-136 drones on October 23. 6. The slower tempo of Russian air, missile, and drone strikes possibly reflects decreasing missile and drone stockpiles and the strike's limited effectiveness of accomplishing Russian strategic military goals. Ukraine's Military Intelligence Directorate, GUR, Chief Major General Kirill Budanov, stated on October 24 that the impact of Russian terrorist strikes against critical Ukrainian infrastructure is waning as Russian forces further deplete their limited arsenal of cruise missiles. 7. Budanov stated that Russian forces have stopped targeting Ukraine's military infrastructure, instead aiming for civilian infrastructure to incite panic and fear in Ukrainians. Budanov noted, however, that Russian forces will fail as Ukrainians are better adapted to strategic bombing than at the beginning of the war. Budanov claimed that Russian forces have used most of their cruise missile arsenal and only have 13% of their pre-war Iskander, 43% of Caliber, and 45% of Kh-101 and Kh-555 pre-war stockpiles left, supporting ISW's prior reports on dwindling Russian precision-guided munition stockpiles. Budanov noted that Russian cruise missiles lack precision, as a missile likely intended to hit the Ukrainian Security Service (SBU) building in Kyiv missed its target by 800 meters. Budanov stated that Russia's dwindling supply of cruise missiles is forcing the Russian military to rely on Iranian drones, but that Iranian suppliers only send 300 drones per shipment and that the drones take a long time to manufacture. Budanov stated that Ukrainian air defenses shoot down 70% of all Shahid-136 drones, including 222 of the 330 Russia has used so far. It is impossible to assess the degree to which ongoing unrest and growing strikes in Iran might interfere with Tehran's ability to manufacture and ship drones to Russia.